Reacher Semantics. Prime Video's Reacher finally gives a name to the character's most infuriating habit. Duffy finally had it with Reacher's semantics bulls on the latest episode, and it's nice to see him get called out on it. The appeal of Lee Child's Jack Reacher novels is that the main character is both fiercely intelligent and able to snap limbs at a moment's notice. Reacher might not be great with casual chit-chat or social norms, but is able to think his way out of danger in almost every circumstance. Reacher is smart, and he knows it, which can be one of his most irritating traits. Reacher can weaponize his intelligence for both good and bad. As Alan Ritchson himself put it during an Empire interview, he's smart enough to make somebody feel very small, not because of his size, but because of his intelligence. He's a particular fan of arguing semantics, which can be found in the very first episode when Reacher states he's a hobo instead of a vagrant. His natural pedanticness annoyed Finley Malcolm Goodwin to no end throughout Season 1, and Agent Duffy Sonia Cassidy called him out on it during Season 3's LA. Story. The ending of Reacher's LA. Story sees Jack preparing to snipe his mortal enemy Quinn during an exchange. This is after Duffy brought the ATF into her operation, but the thought of Quinn merely going to prison is unacceptable to Reacher. As he assembles a massive sniper rifle he bought from a pawn shop, he and Duffy get into an argument about his plan. She recalls Reacher saying he understood her position regarding Quinn's arrest, but in classic Reacher fashion, he responded, "I did understand it. I just don't agree with it." This causes an understandably furious Duffy to bite back with, "Don't pull Reacher semantics bulls with me." While Reacher's habit of twisting people's words can be cute, pulling that move as he plans to blow Quinn's head off is an obnoxious one. Finley may have called him out on smartassery several times during the first season, but LA Story is the first time a character has put a label on it. Reacher's bluntness and tendency to condescend can be a big source of humor, but it can also be his most annoying quirk. At least the showrunners are self-aware enough to point this out, especially as it comes during one of the most dramatic moments of the season. Season 3's Reacher Semantics line proves Duffy is the perfect match for Jack Reacher. Duffy calling out one of Reacher's worst habits underlines what Season 3 has shown about her time and again. She's Reacher's equal. This could be seen in their first meeting in Persuader, where Duffy predicted Reacher would jump out his hotel window to avoid meeting DEA agents and was already waiting for him. She also calls him out on his stubbornness and for answering questions like an Duffy is done with Reacher's semantics and self-justification for blowing her operation to get revenge. LA Story saw them finally act on their mutual attraction, but theirs is no great love story. They share similar morals and codes, but Duffy is fully aware of Reacher's vigilante ways and calls out his bulls when she catches him preparing his rifle. He may have been invaluable to her operation, but Duffy has had to put up with Reacher's smug observations and bending or outright breaking of the rules too. She's done with Reacher's semantics and self-justification for blowing her operation to gain revenge, even though killing Quinn sounds like a smart move in the long run. It's doubtful the Season 3 finale will feature Duffy and Reacher riding off together, but they've made a fun duo. Duffy feels like the first love interest who fully understands how Reacher ticks, so it will be interesting to see how their relationship resolves in the season's finale. For fans of Reacher, whether page-flipping through Lee Child's novels or binging the Brawny Prime Video adaptation, one thing has always been maddeningly clear. Jack Reacher has a habit. A big one. It's not the beatdowns, the bus travel, or even the toothbrush as personal belongings lifestyle. No, it's something far subtler and for many more exasperating. He pauses. A lot. Mid-sentence, mid-thought, sometimes mid-stare. Sometimes he answers questions with an arched eyebrow and a silence that stretches longer than an awkward first date. And now, finally, Reacher the show has dared to do what readers and watchers have danced around for decades. It gave that behavior a name. Reacher Semantics. Yes, you read that right. Like a philosopher in a hoodie, Reacher's deliberate conversational style is no longer just taciturn or stoic. It's a branded behavioral quirk, canonized in Season 2 like a sacred ritual of the wandering justice dealer. When Francis Neagley, a character just as observant and sharp as Reacher himself, finally puts a name to it, fans around the world let out a collective sigh of recognition. So that's what we've been dealing with all this time. But what are Reacher semantics, exactly? In short, it's the art of saying almost nothing and still winning the conversation. Reacher doesn't do small talk. He doesn't explain unless absolutely necessary. He drops truth bombs with the precision of a laser-guided missile, usually followed by a pause so heavy you can feel the oxygen shift in the room. He'll analyze a situation, sum it up in one brutally efficient sentence, then go quiet like a monk who just delivered enlightenment. It's infuriating. It's genius. It's Reacher. To the untrained eye, it might seem like he's being rude, but in reality, it's all calculation. Reacher's mind is constantly running analytics in the background, assessing threats, recalling forensic details, parsing human behavior, and by the time he speaks, he's already 5 moves ahead. His words aren't random, they're curated, weaponized. Take, for instance, a typical exchange. Neagly, do you think he's lying? Reacher, after a pause that feels like 30 minutes. Yeah. Silence. That's it. No elaboration. No justification. Just yeah. And yet, somehow, it's enough. Because Reacher's semantics aren't about quantity, they're about weight. When he speaks, it's because there's something worth saying. And when he doesn't, it's because the silence is the message. The moment the show coins Reacher semantics, it's not just a wink to longtime fans, it's a subtle acknowledgement of what makes this character tick. This isn't just a quirk, it's a philosophy. Reacher doesn't just use language. He masters it by minimizing it. Like a Hemingway hero crossed with a military interrogator, he knows that words, when chosen well, are more powerful than fists. The irony? For a character who speaks so little, Reacher has a voice that resonates louder than most. It's a voice that slices through nonsense. It refuses to pander. It forces other characters and the audience to fill in the blanks, to lean in, to listen. In a world overflowing with chatter, Jack Reacher is the rare figure who lets silence speak volumes. And the best part? He doesn't care if it annoys you. That's the beauty and the bane of Reacher semantics. It's as frustrating as it is fascinating. The pauses make you want to scream, just say it already, but when he finally does, it hits like a hammer. It's not just about withholding. It's about control, power, timing. Reacher doesn't just talk. He delivers conclusions with the ruthless efficiency of someone who's been trained to think 3 steps ahead and trust only what he can prove. So when Neagly, in all her dry wit and insight, labels it Reacher semantics, it's more than a funny throwaway. It's the writers tipping their hat to the fans who've long wrestled with his maddening economy of speech. It's the show acknowledging that Reacher's style isn't accidental, it's intrinsic. It's part of the mythos. In a media landscape where anti-heroes monologue and heroes overshare, Jack Reacher remains the quietest loudspeaker of them all. And now, thanks to Prime Video, his unique brand of verbal jujitsu finally has a name. So next time someone gives you a one-word answer, stares into the middle distance, and walks away like the matter's settled, just nod and say, Reacher semantics. Let me know if you'd like a shorter version